Discovered 25 years ago the gift of giving. I was lucky enough to meet a man who showed me the way, and along the way there have been many others. I don't know what it is not to give now. I only know I want to give, and this is the perfect place to give.
The Vail Jazz Foundation marked its 25th anniversary by creating a Lifetime Achievement Award. This annual award recognizes outstanding contributions in service of the Vail Jazz mission to perpetuate jazz music with a focus on young musicians and young audiences. On July 8, 2019, Vail Jazz presented the inaugural Lifetime Achievement Award to its founder and artistic director, Howard Stone. Vail Jazz began with 3 days of music over Labor Day weekend, evolved to include the Vail Jazz Workshop and Vail Jazz Goes to School, and expanded into a year-round operation. The 25th annual Vail Jazz Festival featured over 80 performances spanning nearly 10 weeks, as well as award-winning educational programs, culminating with the Vail Jazz Party, where it all began. In 1964, a Colorado businessman named Dick Gibson created the first jazz party in Aspen. After 30 years of hosting these parties, he was ready to retire the event. Fortunately for all of us, Howard Stone wouldn't let that happen.
24 years ago, I had this unbelievable moment where I said, I can put on a jazz festival. It was going to be a one-off thing. I did it. And I was so empowered by what had just taken place when I went to say goodbye to the artists. And I had this chance encounter with John Clayton. And he asked me, do you think you'll ever do this again? And I really didn't plan on doing it again. But out of my mouth came the following words: I know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
Howard and John brought to life the Vail Jazz Workshop, an intensive 10-day immersion for 12 high school jazz musicians, culminating in main stage performances at the Vail Jazz Party. John Clayton was joined by an acclaimed faculty, including his brother Jeff Clayton on saxophone, Terrell Stafford on trumpet, Wycliffe Gordon on trombone, Bill Cunliffe on piano, and Lewis Nash on drums, all of whom have developed deep friendships with Howard and his wife Kathy, and together they have forged an important place in jazz education for Vail. In the early years of the festival, Vail Jazz presented jazz greats and future superstars like Phil Woods, Diana Krall, Ray Brown, Mulgrew Miller, and Monty Alexander, among many other luminaries. And jazz aficionados made the Vail Jazz Party an annual gathering filled with joy and celebration.
You know, kids, we talk about, a lot of times as musicians, we use...
Howard felt strongly that the Vail community deserved the opportunity to learn about America's original art form. And together with pianist, vocalist, and educator Tony Galizia, they introduced Vail Jazz Goes to School to the 4th and 5th grade classrooms of Eagle County. After 21 years, Tony and his dedicated faculty have reached nearly 25,000 students and nurtured an appreciation of jazz history, culture, artists, and songs for students and parents alike. Through Howard's passion for the music and genuine engagement with the musicians, Vail Jazz has become a home away from home for artists that return year after year, including Jeff Hamilton, Byron Stripling, Ken Poplowski, Nikki Harris, and Ann Hampton Calloway, as well as a place for the next generation, artists like Adrian Cunningham, Cyril M.A., Emmett Cohen, and Veronica Swift to spread their wings. Vail Jazz Workshop alumni are now advancing the art form. Artists like Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin, Tia Fuller, and Grace Kelly, among nearly 275 others, are performing on esteemed stages around the world.
The Vail Jazz Foundation actually just grew out of my passion for the music. One of the great joys of my life has been to take this music that I feel so strongly about and share it with others. And to see friends and acquaintances in this community develop an appreciation for the art form like I do is a great reward. The first year we did the Vail Jazz Festival, it didn't seem like it was enough. After the music was over, I realized that I wanted to to really perpetuate the art form. And there was no better way than to teach young musicians and young audiences, because they're the future. So one of the hallmarks of what we do is we balance education and performance. We have this remarkable workshop that's won the Downbeat Educational Achievement Award. We have our Jazz Goes to School that we've done for over 2 decades. We have Jam and Jazz Kids. So we're all about presenting the music and allowing young people who are the future to participate.
Vail Jazz was born from Howard's vision and generosity. And from this special community tucked way up in the Rocky Mountains, it has enriched the lives of artists and fans across the globe. Howard, on behalf of all of us, the listeners, the performers, the students, the staff, the board of directors, volunteers, and partners, thank you for sharing your love of jazz music with us, and for creating an environment in which we have all experienced so much joy. The Vail Jazz Party is where it all began. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, a dream fulfilled, and it turned into a legacy.